It's late and the clinic's quiet. Most of the lights are off, but mine, they're still on. I'm sitting alone, finishing notes. Could have done it tomorrow, except I know tomorrow will look exactly the same. I remember staring at the screen and thinking, this is it. Not dramatically, not angrily, just clearly. I was making over $200,000 a year and I felt completely trapped. Quick context if you're new here, I'm a veterinarian and I recently bought my first multifamily property. I am not a full-time investor and I'm not here as a guru. I'm building this alongside a demanding career and I'm sharing what actually reduced pressure for me as it was happening. From the outside, my life made sense. I did what I was supposed to do. School, debt, long nights, delayed gratification. Then eventually a great job, good income, stability. People would say things to me like, you've made it, you're set, you're lucky. And I believed them for a long time. Strange part was, nothing was actually broken. I liked my work and I cared about my patients. I was good at what I did. There was no crisis. But slowly, almost invisibly, my world got smaller. My days felt heavier. Weeks blurred together. Time off didn't really feel like time off. And because nothing was technically wrong, I didn't know how to talk about it, so I didn't. I remember sitting in my car after work one night. Engine was still running, hands on the steering wheel. I wasn't exhausted in just the usual way. I just didn't want to go inside yet. Nothing bad had happened that day, no crisis, no emergency, but the thought of doing it all again tomorrow felt heavier than it should have. I sat there for longer than I was meant to, and that's when I realized something was off. What I didn't realize at the time was this. The better I got at my job, the more everything depended on me. My schedule filled up, my responsibilities grew, my income became fragile. If I showed up, everything worked. If I didn't, things stalled. I wasn't exhausted because I worked too much. I was exhausted because too much depended on me showing up indefinitely. And then came the guilt. Because how do you complain when you're doing well? I'd catch myself thinking, God, other people have it so much worse. I should be grateful. And this is what I signed up for. So instead of questioning the setup, I questioned myself. Maybe I was weak. Maybe I just needed a thicker skin. Maybe this is just adulthood. That kind of thinking keeps you quiet for a long time. I assumed more money would help, so I focused on earning more, saving more, doing everything right. But the feeling didn't change because every dollar still came from my time. No time worked, no money earned. I wasn't building freedom. I was just getting more efficient at trading hours for income, and the more successful I became, the harder it felt to imagine stepping back. I remember looking at my schedule one Sunday night, same on-call rotation, same pace, months out. I scrolled forward and forward again. That's when the thought showed up. If nothing changes, this is just my life now. There wasn't a breaking point, no dramatic decision, just a thought that wouldn't leave me alone. If nothing changes, this is my life for the next 25 plus years. Same pace, same pressure, same ceiling. That thought scared me more than any risk ever could. Not because I hated veterinary medicine, quite the opposite, but because I wanted the option to stay. I didn't start looking for an escape. I started looking for margin, space, buffer, something that didn't require my emotional energy every single day. That's when I began learning about ownership. Not hype, not flashy investing, just assets. Things that could work quietly in the background while I kept doing the work I cared about. At first, it felt pretty uncomfortable. This was not my world. I wasn't trained for this. But slowly, something became clearer. This wasn't about leaving veterinary medicine. It was about not letting it consume my entire life. The biggest challenge wasn't my income. It was my nervous system. For the first time, my future didn't feel fragile. I could slow down without panic. I could say no without fear. I could imagine a long career without burning out. That's the difference no one really talks about. Freedom isn't quitting. Freedom is knowing you don't have to keep running. I'm making this channel because I know how lonely this stage can feel. Being successful and still quietly unsettled. Loving your work, but knowing the pace isn't sustainable forever. Feeling guilty for wanting options. I'm not here to preach. I'm here to document what it actually looks like to build those options slowly, responsibly, and without blowing up your career. If you're a veterinarian watching this and something here felt uncomfortably familiar, you're not alone. If you want to hear more about how I started building options without blowing up my career, you can learn more about First Asset Academy by clicking the link in the description below. In the next episode, I'm going to walk you through how I bought my first multifamily property while still working full-time as a veterinarian. even without seeing it in person. If this story resonated, you'll probably want to watch that one next. And if it felt familiar, feel free to leave a comment. I read everyone.